The jungle of Khazara was wild and alive. Tall blue trees swayed under strong winds. Strange animals ran through thick bushes. But the jungle was silent today. Even the beasts were afraid. Inside a stone temple deep in the forest, a group of tall alien women stood in a circle. Their skin was bronze. Their hair was silver. Their bodies were strong, built like warriors. These were the Amazari, the strongest female warriors in the galaxy. And today, they gathered for a sacred reason. Their queen, Virea, stepped into the fireway, center of the circle. She was the tallest and most powerful of them all. Her voice was calm but sharp like a blade. "It is time," she said. "Our bloodline is dying. We have no more strong sons. If we do not act, the Amazari will end in 1 generation." The others lowered their heads in silence. One warrior stepped forward. "But Your Grace, no male has passed the test, not in many years." Queen Virea looked to the sky. "Then we search beyond our world." A beam of light shot up from the temple. It connected to the stars, scanning planets across the galaxy. Holograms of alien males appeared one by one: beasts, warlords, cyborgs, mutated kings. All were rejected. None were strong enough. Then the light paused. A small blue planet appeared. Earth. A hologram zoomed in. A man appeared on the screen. He looked ordinary. Brown hair. Simple clothes. A strong jawline. He lived alone in a small cabin in the mountains. He chopped wood, carried water, trained daily, and had no contact with anyone. Name: Ryan Ward. The scan said, species, human, age, 32. Former soldier. Genetics, unusual strength, high survival instinct. Mental endurance, extreme. The Amazari stared in silence. "A human?" One of them asked. "They are weak." "No," Queen Virea replied. "This one is not weak. He has survived 10 battles alone. He left his people and chose exile. And yet he lives, trains, and grows stronger." The scan continued. It showed Ryan fighting a wild bear. Not with a gun, but with his bare hands and a spear. He didn't kill the bear, but scared it away by looking into its eyes. Then the scan showed him building traps, lifting logs, swimming across icy rivers. "His body is strong," Virea said. "But more than that, his will is unbreakable." "Is he the one?" asked her advisor. The queen didn't answer at first. She walked closer to the floating image. Her eyes narrowed. "There's something inside him," she whispered. "Fire, rage, kindness too, and pain." She raised her hand. "Send the scouts. I want him brought here alive." "But he might resist," another warrior warned. "Then let him resist," Queen Virea said with a smile. "Let him fight. The stronger he resists, the more I want him." Far away on Earth, Ryan Ward chopped wood outside his small cabin. He looked up at the stars. He didn't know that powerful eyes were watching him from across the galaxy. He didn't know that his quiet life was about to change forever. But deep inside, he felt something strange. A chill ran down his spine. He looked over his shoulder, like someone was behind him. But no one was there. At least, not yet. Back on Khazara, the scouts prepared their armor and weapons. Their ship, shaped like a giant hawk, hummed as it powered. Up. These were the hunters of the Amazari, fast, deadly, and loyal. "Do not harm him," Queen Virea ordered. "He is not prey. He is a gift from the stars." One scout smirked. "What if he tries to harm us?" Queen Virea smiled again. "Then remind him why we are feared." The ship rose from the jungle floor and vanished into the sky. The hunt had begun, and Ryan Ward, the lonely human, had no idea that he had just been chosen as the future mate of an alien queen. But this was not just about love or children. It was about survival. It was about power. It was about the strongest genes in the galaxy. And the Amazari had found them in him. Ryan Ward, like silence. High in the cold mountains of Earth, Far from people, cities, and noise he had found peace. No phones. No news. Just snow, trees, and the sound of his axe cutting firewood. Every day was the same. And that was exactly how he liked it. But today, something was different. He stood outside his wooden cabin, staring at the sky. Clouds were gone. The air was still, too still. Birds were missing. The wind had stopped moving. Even the trees seemed to hold their breath. He narrowed his eyes. Something's off. He didn't know he was being watched. From high above the clouds, an invisible alien ship hovered. Inside were 6 Amazari scouts, cloaked and shimmering. Armor, built like statues. Their eyes glowed behind silver masks. They watched Ryan from the shadows of space. "He's alone," one of them said. "No defenses. No technology. No warning system," another added. "Easy target," said a third. But the leader of the scouts, Kalira, shook her head. "Do not underestimate him. Queen Varaya wants him alive. One mistake, and we all fail." They waited for nightfall. That evening, Ryan cooked meat over a fire. He looked at the flames, lost in thought. Something inside him felt heavy, like danger was getting closer. He shook the feeling off, grabbed his coat, and stepped outside. Then, he heard it. A strange humming, faint, metallic, like a machine. Breathing. He turned fast. Nothing. He stepped forward, snow crunching under his boots. Then flash. A blinding light exploded from the sky. Ryan barely had time to react. His body lifted off the ground. He twisted in midair, trying to scream, but no sound came out. The world around him spun white, blue, silver, then vanished. Silence. When Ryan opened his eyes, he was lying on a cold metal floor. He sat up slowly. Everything hurt. His head throbbed. His hands were heavy. He looked around. No trees, no fire. No snow. Just walls glowing with alien light. He wasn't on Earth anymore. What the hell? Suddenly, a door slid open. 6 tall figures walked in, women, but unlike anything he'd seen. Armor shining like moonlight. Hair flowing like silver water. Eyes like burning stars. One stepped forward. She removed her helmet. Her face was fierce, sharp, and strange but beautiful. She stared at him like he was a puzzle. "Name, Ryan Ward?" she said in a deep voice. He didn't answer. He stood up, fists clenched. "Where am I?" "You are aboard the vessel of the Amazari," she said calmly. "You have been chosen." "Chosen for what?" Ryan growled. "To breed." His mind stopped. "What did you just say?" She tilted her head. "Our queen has selected you. You have strong genes. You will help our people survive." Ryan stepped back. "No, I'm not some animal." The other warriors raised their weapons, but Kalira raised her hand. "Stand down. Let him understand." She walked closer. "We do not force, we test. You will be examined. If you pass, the queen will come." Ryan laughed once, bitter. "What happens if I fail?" Kalira didn't smile. "You won't leave." She turned and walked away. The door closed behind her, sealing him in. Ryan paced the room, heart pounding. He had no plan, no weapon, no idea where he was. Only one thought burned in his head: colon escape. He studied the room walls, smooth like glass, no windows, just one door. But in the corner, he spotted a faint blinking light. A vent, maybe? Something small. He moved toward it, but suddenly, a loud hiss echoed. Gas. He coughed, fell to one knee. His arms went heavy again, his eyes blurred. Voices echoed in his head. "You will be tested. You will be tested." Darkness. In another chamber, Queen Viria stared at a screen. It showed Ryan sleeping under sedation. "He resisted," said Kalira, "even with nothing. His body responded with fight, not fear." The queen nodded. "Good. That means we chose correctly." She turned to her royal guard. "Prepare the testing chambers." I want to see what the human is truly made of." The stars outside twinkled silently. The real tests had not even begun. Ryan woke up gasping for breath. The air was heavy, but clean. His body ached like he had been crushed by a truck. His shirt was gone. A strange band of metal wrapped around his wrist, glowing faint blue. The floor below him was not solid, it was soft, like some kind of alien gel. He tried to stand. The floor rose with him. It shifted and changed shape, becoming stairs, then flattening again. The room was alive. "What the hell is this place?" Ryan muttered. A voice echoed around him, female, robotic, and cold. "Subject 001, human male. Trial 1 begins." Without warning, the wall in front of him slid open like melting ice. A bright hallway appeared, lined with glowing lights that moved like rivers. Ryan stepped forward cautiously. As he walked, the lights followed him, scanning his muscles, heart rate, and brainwaves. Then, a giant door slid open. And behind it waited his first test. It looked like a forest, but everything was off. The trees were black. The sky was purple. The ground moved like it was breathing. Suddenly, a four-legged beast with red skin and glowing teeth leaped out from behind a rock. It charged Ryan with a roar. No weapons. No help, only instinct. Ryan dodged, rolled, grabbed a jagged stone from the ground, and as the beast jumped again, he slammed it into the side of its head. The beast fell, stunned. Ryan didn't kill it, he just stood over it, breathing hard. Trial 1. Complete. Compassion detected. Physical control. High. The forest vanished. The floor disappeared from under him. He dropped. Thud. He landed in a desert next, hot, dry, and with 2 suns in the sky. His skin burned immediately. His mouth was dry within seconds. Trial 2. Endurance. Hours passed. He walked across sand. He was offered water once, but only if. He gave up and asked. He didn't. He kept moving. His lips cracked. His feet bled. Trial 2. Complete. Willpower. High. Ryan collapsed just as the desert faded. Now he stood in a strange black room with mirrors on all sides. He could see himself, but also memories. His past. His squad in the war. The friends he lost. His last mission. The girl he couldn't save. The reason he left Earth and never went back. Trial 3. Mental resistance. Tears welled in his eyes, but he didn't fall. He just whispered, "That's enough." And suddenly, the mirrors shattered. Trial 3. Complete. Pain threshold. Beyond expected levels. In a hidden chamber above, Queen Viraya and her top warriors watched the tests unfold on a floating screen. One of them, the advisor Senatari, looked concerned. "He is surviving everything," she said. "No male has passed more than 1 test." The Queen's eyes narrowed. "He is not like the others. He is more." Back in the final chamber, Ryan stood before a pedestal. On it, a redstone pulsed. Final trial. Choice. A voice spoke to him. "You may choose freedom. The ship will return you to Earth. You will be safe. You will be alone, or ... Choose to stay. The Queen awaits. A future awaits, but it is not safe, and it is not easy." Ryan looked at the stone. He thought of the quiet forest. His old cabin. The fire at night. Peace. Then he thought of these alien women. Of Queen Viraya. Of the strange feeling in his chest when he looked at them, not fear, but challenge. He placed his hand on the stone. "I stay." Far above, alarms rang. The room lit up red. "Subject has chosen. The Queen must be informed." Queen Viraya stood from her seat, a slow smile on her lips. "He has passed all trials," she said. "Prepare the ritual." One of her guards hesitated. "But he is only human." The Queen turned slowly. Her eyes glowed like fire. "He is more than human." Deep inside the royal citadel of Khazara, The mood had changed. The queen's chambers were quiet, but the palace halls whispered with unrest. The guards stood taller. The servants spoke less. Something dark was growing. Not everyone was happy. The queen had chosen a human, male outsider to take part in the sacred ritual of union. For the first time in 1,000 years, a non-Amazari would be allowed into their bloodline, and for many proud warriors, it was unforgivable. In the lower halls, behind locked doors and silent stone walls, a secret meeting was taking place. 6 Amazari warriors stood in a circle, their cloaks hiding their faces. They were elite soldiers, fast, trained, deadly. But tonight, they didn't speak as soldiers. They spoke as traitors. "This is madness," one hissed. "A human? A weak male?" "He passed the trials," another whispered. "They were designed for Amazari, not some soft-skinned earth creature." A taller woman stepped forward. Her name was General Nisha. She had served the crown for over 50 years. Her face was marked with battle scars, her eyes hard as ice. "I bled for this empire," she growled. "I buried sisters in war. And now I'm expected to kneel beside a human? A breeder?" "Number." One answered. "They didn't have to." Nisha leaned close. "If the queen won't protect our future, then we must." At that same hour, Ryan stood alone on a high platform under a sky full of stars. He wore new clothing, Amazari robes. His muscles were sore, but his mind was sharp. The tests had pushed him, broken him, and strangely changed him. Now he felt eyes on him everywhere. He wasn't just a guest. He was a symbol, a threat. Suddenly, he heard footsteps behind him. He turned fast, ready to defend. It was Zara the warrior who had watched him silently from the shadows since his arrival. Her armor was different, sleeker. She didn't carry weapons. But Ryan had the feeling she didn't need any. "You shouldn't be out here," she said. "Why? Am I not royal property now?" Ryan smirked. Zara didn't smile. "There are some who think you're a mistake, and they're planning something dangerous." Ryan's expression turned serious. "What kind of dangerous?" Zara stepped closer, voice low. "They meet in secret. They want to stop the ritual. Some want you sent home. Others want you gone in a more permanent way." Ryan crossed his arms. "And what do you want?" "I want to see if you're truly strong," she said. "Not just with your body, but with your heart." That night, Ryan was escorted back to his chambers, but he wasn't alone. Zara followed from the shadows, watching rooftops, scanning walls, tracking every sound. She could feel that danger was close. She was right back, just as the guards turned. The corner, a flash of silver moved through the air. A blade. Zara shouted, "Down!" Ryan dropped. A spear slammed into the wall behind him. Another came flying, but Zara caught it mid-air. Attackers, 2 Amazari rebels, leaped from the walls masked. Fast, brutal, Zara fought without hesitation. Her blades moved like lightning. Clashing against theirs, sparks flew. Ryan rolled aside, grabbed the fallen spear, and joined the fight. One rebel aimed for his heart. Ryan blocked, twisted, and slammed the attacker into the floor. Blood dripped. Heavy breathing filled the hallway. The 2 rebels fled, vanishing into the dark. Zara touched her side cut, but alive. "You fight well, for a human," she said. Ryan helped her stand. "And you're bleeding, for a stranger." Zara looked him in the eye, maybe not a stranger anymore. Meanwhile, Queen Vireya stood in her chamber, watching the small glowing map. Red dots flashed across the palace. Rebels. Inside her walls. She turned to her advisor, Senatari. "So they move against me. Even now, what will you do, my queen?" she asked. Queen Vireya's eyes glowed. "I will do what they fear thee most," she whispered. "I will finish the ritual and make the human king." The throne room of Khazara had never been this silent. At the far end of the great hall stood Queen Vireya, dressed not in armor, but in ancient ceremonial robes. Her crown of black crystal rested heavy on her brow. Beside her, the High Council of Amazari waited, eyes full of judgment. In the center of the room, under a beam of golden light, stood Ryan Ward, unarmored, but unafraid. He could feel the weight of every stare. Some looked at him with curiosity, some with hatred, and a few with quiet hope. The Queen raised her hand. "Let it be known," she said, voice calm but firm, "that this human, Ryan of Earth, has passed all trials of strength, mind, and spirit. No male, not even of our own blood, has done so in over 3 centuries." A murmur rippled through the chamber. "But," she continued, "there are voices who question this path, voices who fear the unknown. I have summoned them here to speak freely." From the side of the chamber, General Nisha stepped forward. Her cloak dragged across the floor like a shadow. Her face was cold, her tone sharp. "Your Majesty," she began, "I speak not in anger, but in duty. This outsider may be strong, but he is not one of us. He does not know our history, our pain, our pride." She turned to the council. "If we let one human into our bloodline, what stops more? Will we lose ourselves trying to survive?" The room fell quiet again. All eyes turned to Ryan. He stepped forward, shoulders square, voice steady. "You're right," he said. "I'm not one of you. I wasn't born here. I didn't grow up in your cities. I don't know your gods or your songs." He looked at Nisha. "But I know what it feels like to lose everything, to watch your people fall, to survive when no one else does. And I know what it means to fight for something bigger than yourself." He turned to the Queen now. "I didn't ask to be chosen. I didn't come here for glory. But if I'm staying, it won't be as a tool or a prize. If I'm part of this future, I want to stand beside you, not under you." Gasps echoed in the room. No male had ever spoken to the Queen like that, but Queen Viraya smiled. Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered. A soldier burst through the side doors, kneeling with urgency. "Your Majesty, rebels have breached the East Wing. They're armed, heading for the royal chamber." Without waiting, Nisha turned and shouted, "This is what I feared. He brought war to our gates." But Queen Viraya raised her voice, strong and clear. "No, he did not bring war. Our fear of change did." She turned to Ryan. "Will you fight with me, Ryan of Earth?" He nodded once. "Always." The Queen stepped forward and raised her hand toward the council. "Then let all of Khazara hear my words. I choose this human as my mate, not as a breeder, but as an equal, a protector, a bridge between our people and the stars. From this moment, he shall be named Kara-Torin, Mate of the Crown." Before anyone could respond, a loud boom shook the palace walls. The rebels were inside. Chaos erupted. Guards clashed with masked Amazari in the corridors. Blades sang. Cries echoed. One rebel made it past the defense line and ran straight into the throne room, dagger raised, but Ryan stepped forward, grabbed a broken staff from the ground, and struck the rebel down with one swift move. Silence returned. Blood stained the floor. Queen Viraya looked at the fallen attacker, then at Ryan. "Your decision is clear," she said softly. "So is mine." Outside, the battle raged. Inside, a new chapter had begun. Ryan wasn't just a visitor now. He wasn't just a test subject or a breeding choice. He was something new, something dangerous to the old ways, and something powerful for the future. The drums began at sunset. Slow at first, echoing across the jungle valley of Khazara. Birds scattered from the trees. Firelights lit one by one along the temple walls. The ground itself seemed to pulse with rhythm, as if the planet knew what was about to happen. Inside the great temple, built from stone older than the stars, the Amazari gathered in silence. Thousands stood shoulder to shoulder, warriors, elders, children. all waiting to witness something that hadn't happened in over 1,000 years. A union not just of blood but of fate. Ryan Ward stood in the heart of the temple. He wore ceremonial armor, black and silver, light but strong, lines of glowing ink marked his skin, painted by the high priestess herself. It shimmered like stardust. He looked calm on the outside, but inside, his heart thundered louder than the drums. Zara, the warrior who once doubted him, now stood at his side. She gave him a small nod. "You don't look like a human anymore," she said. Ryan gave a half smile. "Good, because I'm about to marry an alien queen." Queen Virea entered from the far end of the temple, followed by her royal guards. But tonight, she didn't look like a war leader. She looked like a goddess. Her gown flowed like liquid gold. Her crown had been replaced by a halo of glowing light. Her eyes, usually sharp and cold, now burned with something else, hope. When she reached the altar, she held out her hand. Ryan stepped forward. Everyone in the temple held their breath. High Priestess raised her voice. It echoed in an ancient tongue, one older than any living soul. "Today, we ask the stars to bless this union. Strength to strength, soul to soul, blood to blood." The crowd responded with one deep voice. "Let the stars witness." But just as Ryan reached to take the queen's hand, a scream rang out from the edge of the temple. "Stop the ritual!" Everyone turned. A lone figure stepped forward, bloody, limping, but burning with rage. It was General Nisha. She had survived the battle. Her armor was cracked, one eye was swollen shut. But she still carried her blade. "You think a human can lead us?" she shouted. "You think he can save our bloodline? He will weaken us." Guards moved forward to stop her, but the queen raised her hand. "Let her speak." Nisha looked straight at Ryan. "Do you even understand what it means to become one of us? Our warriors die young. Our mothers carry pain in silence. We don't marry for love, we merge for power. Can you live like that?" Ryan stepped forward, unshaken. "I don't need to understand everything," he said. "But I'll fight. Beside her, I'll raise children who are proud of both worlds. And I'll die defending the bloodline you claim I threaten." He paused. "But if you want to stop this, you'll have to kill me here, now, in front of them all." Silence. The flames flickered. Nisha raised her blade, then slowly dropped it. "I pray your blood is as strong as your words, human." She sighed and turned away. The ritual resumed. This time, there was no hesitation. Ryan took Queen Virea's hand. The altar glowed bright. The stars above seemed to shift. A beam of light came down from the sky, bathing them both in silver. Their markings lit up. The temple shook, not from danger, but from power. "Let this be the beginning," the priestess said, "of a new blood, a new tribe, a future not of fear, but of fire." Queen Virea leaned close and whispered, "You're not just my mate now. You're the father of our survival." Ryan closed his eyes. "Then let's make sure it's a future worth surviving for." Outside, the drums changed beat. Inside, the Amazari cheered for the first time in generations. But far away, in a distant corner of the galaxy, a dark eye opened. Hidden force that had been watching quietly. And now, it knew. The Amazari had found strength again, and someone would soon come to take it. Asterisk. The stars were no longer quiet. Just 2 days after the sacred ritual, a strange signal echoed across the sky, loud, angry, and cold. It wasn't from the Amazari. It wasn't from Earth. It was a threat. And it came fast. From the black edge of space, a giant ship appeared, shaped like a floating skeleton. Its engines screamed. Its shields glowed red. Inside it were the Karnak, a brutal species that fed on war, and saw all unions between species as a curse. They had one goal: destroy the human before new blood could be born. In the royal chamber, Ryan stood by a large window, watching the sky. "They're coming for me, aren't they?" he said. Queen Virea nodded. She had already changed into her battle armor, sharp, dark and ancient. Her silver hair was braided tight. She looked like the war goddess of every myth. "They see your life as dangerous," she said. "They fear what we've created." Ryan tightened the straps on his shoulder guard. "Then we show them what fear really looks like." The palace shook as the Karnak ship entered orbit. Alarms screamed. Soldiers rushed to the walls. Cannons rose from towers. The Amazari prepared for their final stand, but the queen had one last. Card. She stood before her people and raised her voice across the citadel. "We were warriors before we were queens. Before we had cities, we had each other. Today, we fight not to defend the past, but to protect the future we've just begun." The crowd roared. Spears slammed into the ground. Ryan stood beside her, weapon in hand. He wasn't just a guest anymore. He was the chosen mate of the queen, and the protector of their future children. The Karnak attacked. Black dropships rained from the sky like burning meteors. Their soldiers crawled out, tall, pale creatures with metal claws and eyes like ice, but the Amazari met them head-on. The jungle floor became a battlefield. Ryan fought at the front lines. He moved like a storm-fast, brutal, fearless. He wasn't as strong as the Amazari, but he was smarter. He used traps, terrain, timing. He fought with the warriors, not instead of them. Beside him, Zara fought like fire. The queen fought like lightning, but even with all their strength, the Karnak kept coming. At the heart of the battlefield, the Karnak warlord stepped forward. Huge, armored, glowing with stolen power. He pointed his blade at Ryan. "You," he growled, "the human. You have polluted their blood. I will erase you." Ryan stepped forward, eyes hard. "You want me?" he said. "Come take me." The warlord charged. Their blades clashed. Ryan held his ground, but he was only human. The warlord knocked him down, raised his weapon for the final blow, and then a spear flew through the air, piercing the warlord's heart. It was Queen Virea. She stood tall behind the dying enemy, her hand still raised from the throw. "No one touches my mate," she said coldly. With their leader dead, the Karnak fell into chaos. The Amazari pushed them back, driving them out of the jungle and into the sky. Their ship was destroyed in flames. The battle was won, but more than that, a message had been sent to the galaxy. The human had not weakened the Amazari. He had made them stronger. Later that night, under the same stars where it all began, Ryan sat beside Queen Virea on the temple steps. He was bruised, bloody, tired. She leaned her head on his shoulder. "You're not just the strongest genes in the galaxy," she whispered. "You have the strongest heart." He smiled. "Then maybe we're both lucky." From the temple doorway, Zara appeared, holding something small, a crystal glowing faintly with new energy. "The first sign," she said. "The ritual worked. Life has begun." Ryan stared at the light. For the first time in his life, he felt truly home. In the dark corners of the universe, many watched in silence. Some feared this union. Some wanted to stop it. But others began to wonder what else could happen if a human and an alien queen could rewrite fate together. The galaxy had changed. Forever.